arguably the most important thing you're going to be doing as a songwriter with a computer is recording a vocal and then comping a vocal and putting a little vocal together. So in also the warts and all sense of things, I am going to attempt to do some singing for you and record a vocal and then put it together and just show you the process of it, and particularly show you the process from me as a writer. So not a singer. I don't consider myself a singer necessarily, but I have definitely worked really hard and in a really enjoyable way at my voice. And if you've had a appraisal from me or mentoring session, I've always encouraged you as writers to just sing all the time. It's a cliche. The voice is like a muscle. And the more you work it, the stronger, the better, the more flexible it will be. But if you went into the gym and you do push-ups every other day, you will get stronger and better at push-ups, and the voice is exactly the same. Right, I've got where have my notes gone for this? Okay. So, if we start off with the premise that, basic principle being that vocals are the most important thing in a song, aren't they? Apart from the song itself. So what we're going to do is let's share my Logic screen with you. I've taken advantage of this here, the lyric pad or the notepad on the right hand side, which is absolutely brilliant. You open it by going up there, notepad, you see, and I've copied and pasted the lyrics to this song from the internet. Just so I've got something to refer to as I'm doing it, and you might like to print off lyrics for your vocalist, or you might be sitting in front of a computer, but this is a great thing to have open. Right, now it's back to my notes. So the first thing I'm going to do, or first thing I have done, for instance, is insert a new vocal track, which I've already done. So what you're going to do is your shortcut, Apple, sorry, I'll stop saying Apple. It was Apple on the original, it was a little Apple sign on the original Apple keyboards, and now it's Command. So Command brings up my a new audio track here. So here we go. Here's audio 4, which I can rename anything. And then if I just close that, I'll show you how to do that again. Here we've got, it comes up with the default channel strip, but I want to choose something else, which is just a little thing for you to do. So I'm going to go up here. Oh, no, I've got to go there first. I'm up here, library or Alt-L as a shortcut. Voice. I'm going to click voice, and here, if I click down here, go into this channel here. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Various different vocals. Narration vocal. Oh, it's quite nice actually. Slammed vocal. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Tracking vocal. 1 2 1 2. You get the idea. As I flick. Oh, got a bit of spring reverb on it, isn't it? 1 2 1 2 1 2. Slammed vocal. Different kinds of vocals. Now I've gone for this one here. Vocal, which is classic vocal, but it's got a bit of something else as well. I'm going to take that in. 1. Take that down a touch for the moment. Remember that all these little things you might be seeing me doing, we will at some point get to, but I just want to just talk through this one for the moment. And we will get to all these things one by one, but you know, time for everything. So we've got our new vocal track, and we've selected one of these voice presets, for instance, something that we like, and it's quite vibey. Don't have to do that, but it's quite a nice start. I've had a little fiddle with one of them. I've added, taken a bit of top end off, increased the compression a little bit, but they're great starting points for things, especially if you want to work quickly, because there it is. It's all there in your browser menu, right? Okay, so the next thing that we're going to be thinking about is creating an audio track. We've done that. We've browsed to try out different channel strip setting. Okay. The next thing we're going to want to be doing is we're going to want to have our source material in there somewhere. So I've got here, this is a piano part, which I've done, and I've actually got, for reference, I've got the Ed Sheeran track in there as well. Also, what I want to point out is that if you are going to be recording into a session which has got lots of things going on, which you might do, you might want to consider which I'll show you how to do another time, bouncing down all your audio tracks so you can have something simple in your session. Because in order for me to sing, and anybody to sing, you're going to want a lower buffer setting. You don't want any latency. Right, I'm going to press Command, comma, Command, comma, to bring up preferences. On a Mac, Command, comma brings up preferences of any application, by the way. Here we go. Buffer size. I click here. This down here makes it easier for the computer to work when there's lots going on in your Logic session. But when you want to record a vocal in, you'll have a fair amount of latency and delay in the time it takes you to sing, or your singer to sing, and you to hear it. It gets better, but the computer has to work harder. This gets better in terms of latency, and this is the best one, which you'll have very little latency, but your computer has to work much harder to process all the information going on musically in your session. So I'm going to suggest that you, I'm going to assume that you don't have that much going on in your session. Your computer can handle it, but it's worth flicking between those if you need to. I'm here at 64. Absolutely fine. I can't really tell much latency. I had some sensitive singers will moan a little bit, but it's kind of okay with me. But 128, you might start to notice something. And as I say, getting up to here, you definitely will do. So let's just assume that you've had a little play. The computer's running fine. It's running all the instruments and the drums and the backing track, whatever it might be. And when you speak or sing into the microphone, neither you or your singer are disturbed by any latency. So I'm going to leave mine at 64. Remember that when you've selected this, whichever one you're going to select, you have to click Apply Changes. Okay? Right, let's close this menu. And what I've done here, so my plan is to, if I just mute Ed for a minute, my plan is to have a little pared back type version, for instance. So this is what I've got so far. Etc., etc. How delicate, how John Lewis, how very John Lewis. So I've just got that and I'm going to sing over it, but I don't know the song that well. Which is the big difference between when you would have written your song as well. So what I've also done is I've pitched Ed down. So I'm just going to mute using this. We talked about mute and solo, have we? We must do. This little M mutes this track. This little M here mutes that track. But at the moment, if we go back, let's just listen to Ed for a minute. And what I've done with Ed, because I've tried to sing, and it's a little bit high, potentially. It's a little bit high. I've pitched him down, and by that I've selected the track that he's on. In fact, I'm going to write original there, so I've labeled that track original. If I go up here, you'll see I've transposed by dragging up and down with my mouse. I've transposed it down 3 semitones. Okay. Logic should, if you do it to an audio file like that, it should well, it will analyze that file first briefly before it does that, so it is in control of that. Let's listen to what it sounds like.